First, I downloaded this Mario model from a previous game. I rigged it using Mixamo, which basically means I added a skeleton to it to be able to create and use animations. Next I fixed up the weight painting using Blender to make the movements more natural. I also added a shape key so I can add blinking in-game for realism. I then imported him into Unreal Engine. To create the materials, I started by using an AI image upscaler. I then used Unreal's Material Creator to add Mario's materials. I made sure to add as much detail using the powerful nodes that Unreal provides. Unreal has different shading models for different body parts, so I made use of this to make them more realistic, such as for the skin, which I was able to give a more realistic look. Here is the final Mario model with upscaled textures and materials all applied. Next, I modified the animations using curves in Engine, as the Mixamo ones needed some cleaning up and also to make it match Mario's style more. The Mixamo animations that were modified were idle, walking, running, and throwing. I then created an animation blend space to create the range of movement animations that Mario can cycle through. I also retargeted the jump animations from the UE5 example, which I will later edit to recreate the iconic fist in air Mario jump. I used Unreal Engine's retargeter to do this. Next, I added a post process to the scene. This enabled me to bump up the visuals and give it a more animated look. I then worked on the character movement, and added details such as procedural leaning and head look and rotation. To start the map, I prototyped part of the first level using Unreal Engine 5's Cube Grid tool. This level design will be based off the first level in the original game. I then started to work on the final level design before I start with the game functionality. First, I created the landscape and sculpted the map. I used a free asset for the materials, which I modified to be more detailed. Quixel Bridge has many high-quality materials, so I used them for more realistic-looking materials. Next I painted foliage into the map. This consisted of mainly grass and trees. To make the map have borders, I added some cliffs and rocks around the map. I also sculpted into the ground so I could add a lake. Since the level was looking plain, I added some stylized mushrooms and later added other detail. Here are some renders of the final map. Next I started working on the first custom model. This was the logo panel for the game and I used Blender to create it. I also made use of runtime virtual textures to blend models into the ground so it looked far more realistic. I then downloaded a Bowser Castle model and remastered it in Blender, as well as upscaled the textures and used high-quality materials from Quixel Bridge. To make the castle area look cooler, I added a new section with dark stones and large rocks around the castle with stairs. Here is the final castle in game. With this, the entire map was done, so I started the gameplay functionality. I started with the question block. I modeled this again using Blender. I made the block have extruded effects. In game, this would be used to get the giant and fire power-ups. Here are all the custom blocks that I modeled. Next up, I modeled the iconic pipes. To make it more realistic, I added imperfections to the material from Quixel Bridge. This was adding metal scratches. I then started to create the game's blocks. I will replace this with the functional actors later so they can be interacted with. To finish off the playable level, I modeled the final flagpole. I used cloth physics in Unreal Engine 5 to make the flag to wave around like realistic cloth or fabric. I also added cables to the flag actor to simulate the wire. Here are renders of the final playable level design. Next up, I started to work on the power-ups and interacting with the game. First was the Mega Mushroom, which makes Mario grow. I started off by creating interactivity for the blocks. I added a collision to Mario's head, and if it hits the bottom of the block, it interacts. The mushroom will spawn out of certain blocks if hit. I then made it move forward once it fully moves out of the block. To make it move linearly back and forth, I added a collision detection box and rotated the actor 180 degrees when it detects a wall or an object in front of it. I then made a collision detection for the player, and if it overlaps, the player will grow. To create the sort of pulsating grow effect from the games, I used a timeline with a zigzag pattern. Here is the Mega Mushroom in action. Next, I started working on the coins block. To make this work, I made the coin model spawn out of the block. I added a rotating movement component to make the coin spin. I finally added a coin burst particle effect. Here are the coin blocks in game. Next, I made the breakable brick. I used UE5's fracture mode to make the breakable functionality, and it would only break if Giant Mario hits it. Here is the breakable bricks in game. Next up was the fire flower. I started by retexturing the original model to have the fire costume variation. Then I added a similar pickup technique and added a cool camera effect as well as a different post-process effect. I then started to work on the UI. I added text to show the score and coin count of the player, then made these change values when the player gains points or coins. I also added a floating 3D widget to show the player how many points or coins they just got. The first enemy I worked on was the most iconic one from the games, which were the Goombas. I first made a simple walk animation for the model. I then made it so that the Goomba mesh would squash down if Mario lands on the Goomba from above. Next, I added Mario getting hit functionality. If Mario has a power-up, it will remove the current one and return to the previous one. If Mario has no power-ups, then the game is over and it restarts. Here is the Goomba in game. The second enemy was the Koopa. It had many of the same functionalities as the Goomba, so I just added onto it. When the player hits it, a Koopa shell blueprint will spawn in its place. If the shell is hit, then it will start to move at a high speed, and I used overlaps to trace if any Goombas or the player get hit by it. Here is a showcase of the Koopa. Next, I added the fireball system. Mario can throw fireballs if the player left clicks. A fireball hit particle will then spawn when the fireball hits a surface. This is calculated using physics objects. I then made all the enemies' materials have a slider for burnt amount and dissolve to make the mesh fade away after a short delay. I then added some sound effects to sell the effect. Finally, I added a simple aiming system so the camera moves to give a clearer view to the player. Here is the system in game. Next up was the final power-up. This was the Superstar. I started by making the materials for Mario have a rainbow glow effect like in the games. I used a Fresnel to make only the edges glow to create a cool effect. Next I implemented the interactions. The Superstar will be similar to the giant mushroom but will jump as well once it starts moving. When Mario collects it, the glow effect will start, which I set using material parameter collections. Finally, I added some particle effects to the star and Mario, which are glowing stars. To make enemies that Mario comes into contact with get defeated, I used an overlap trace that will call an enemy defeated function for all actors it overlaps. Here is the Superstar in action. With the rest of the gameplay mechanics done, I moved on to the final one, which was the level-ending flag slide. I used the move component to node to move Mario to hold the flag correctly when he comes into contact with it. Then I used a timeline to move Mario down the flag while also smoothly changing the texture of the flag to go from the Bowser logo to the Mario logo. The last thing I added to the game was a simple opening cutscene which shows the game logo, level title, and then smoothly travels across the map to the player camera.